before the jury. As I said, it was a very brief time in there because the time it will spend the full day. The Crown will get their chance to ask some questions. But yeah, that's all to come.
So that's it for this emergency. Here in Dubai Airport's about to board a flight to Melbourne.
Good morning. Hello. Welcome back to the channel. I have a question that has been the theme of the week with my clients also, but is always a topic of conversation. And I got this question via a voicemail, but I got a transcript for it. So forgive me as to how I read it. But what we're going to be talking about today is differentiating between tackling HA with food, with like a healthy food philosophy versus an unhealthy food philosophy, and how does one navigate the two. Okay, so Georgia says, "Good morning, my name's Georgia and I have a question for your next Q&A. If you don't mind, I thought I would send a voice note. My question is, how do you in recovery from HA?" See, already transcripts are rough. Let's see. "How do you overcome the fear of processed foods? And do we have to include processed or ultra-processed foods? I should say in our diet. Should they stay in our diets, or can we recover without eating a lot of ultra-processed foods?" So by ultra, I mean things like sausage rolls, processed pastries, candy, sweets, crisps, chips in the US, biscuits and cookies, and processed high sugar cereals, things like that. Obviously, in recovery from a restrictive eating disorder, we want to overcome the fear of these foods. However, ultimately, in my recovered life, I also value health, and I know that those ultra-processed foods are not beneficial for one's health in the long run. And obviously, I know that that is okay to incorporate these foods from time to time. And that they won't destroy someone's health, but they also have harmful effects on our bodies, our brain metabolism, and our whole bodily function and system in our mind as well. And as well as our mental health. So that's my question. Can we recover from eating mainly healthy or whole foods? Do we have to incorporate ultra-processed foods, and just how much do we have to incorporate those foods if we do? I see a lot of people, especially people in eating disorder recovery, going through or just having extreme hunger, but only eating ultra-processed food, which obviously serves the purpose of weight gain, but then I know we live in a society where we are overfed and undernourished. Because the food we eat are very high in energy and not necessarily high in nutrients. So anyway, that's my question. Sorry if it's long, etc. No, you're good. I have a lot of thoughts.
Okay guys, pulling the winner of the consultation. Let's see, we have got Healing Hannah's Hormones. You should email danny@thehasociety.com to get your consultation. And there's no giveaway this week, guys. I'm traveling next week to Florida. I'm not going to be able to film a video, so I'm going to film it in advance this week, so I won't be able to do another giveaway. But just so you all know, over at Jool Wellness, we are doing buy one, get one for oyster and liver. So the oyster liver bundle, which is normally $100, is only $47 this week. So you're getting a free bottle with your purchase. So this is definitely the time to try it. Go to joolwellness.com to get that. Otherwise, let's get on with the episode.
Okay, so there's actually a problem with this question. It's that when you are someone with HA, you typically have some kind of specific philosophy with food. And you'll ask me, and you'll ask yourselves, but like, I still want to be healthy. How can I have both? And the reality is, wait for it right now. You don't give a shit about being healthy. You want to be thin. You want to control your weight. Now, yes, there is an element of you that cares about what's going in your body. And it's easy to care about that. There are many of you who, if given the chance to lose a bunch of weight on a high processed sugary cereal, you'll take it. The problem is you don't like that it's connected to weight gain. So there's a lot of you who really need to come to Jesus, and you'll be sitting there and you'll be going, not me, not me. I actually just care about what goes in my body. I promise you I can peel the onion layer back far enough to find out that that's not the case. If you have ever taken antibiotics for something, an infection, illness, you weren't excited about it. You know there's negative detriment to taking antibiotics. But you know it's the lesser of the evil because it's going to get rid of the infection. And then you can handle the rest, right? It's kind of do or die. This is the same situation where giving up control and allowing yourself to eat anything is the lesser of two evils when you have HA because you are sick. So if you're already not healthy, trying to say, I want to recover in a healthy way by continuing the habits that allowed you to develop HA in the first place is not going to help, right? So I get it. Like, I think we can all intellectually get where this question is coming from, right? Like, we as a society acknowledge that highly processed, ultra-processed foods are not health foods. But in your particular instance, you are not regular society. You fear food so much that eating it is more beneficial for you than not. That having the debate in your mind that it's more healthy for you to eat lettuce because you don't want to put a cereal in your body, that is a useless debate because you are already unwell from a more high stakes, more time intensive, more urgent and current issue. So if your current issue is that you're not menstruating, you're producing zero estrogen, maybe you're underweight, maybe you have osteopenia, osteoporosis, maybe you are truly awful to be around when you're in a bad mood, maybe you are super rigid, maybe it's affecting your life and everyone else's life, that is a more current issue than whether or not you choose to put sugar in your body. You can handle that. The body is very robust. Okay, anyone who told you that a little bit of sugar, even every day, is enough to seriously nosedive your health in a short period of time is fear-mongering. The better thing for you to do is eat everything and anything around. Now, I have clients that I help to recover on whole foods. Absolutely. And I promise you that when they come in and they're like, Danny, love it, want to work with you, let's do it, but I want to recover on whole foods. And I say, yeah, okay, let's go. I'm going to need you to eat this, 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 and this. Whole foods, objectively healthy, not processed. Guess what I'm met with? A lot of difficulty implementing that. So unless you're willing to take the whole foods approach and eat nothing but a metric shit ton of calorically dense, high fat, high carbohydrate food that is extraordinarily nutrient dense, and there's not a iceberg lettuce leaf in the room, we could probably make it happen. But if you tell me like, oh, you know, I just like really don't want to eat a sausage roll and a donut, or like I just don't even want to incorporate any of these things, I just want to have a whole food diet, and I say, okay, sick. And then your food log is green. That's the problem, right? That's the problem. So there's like three things here. Are you actually afraid of highly processed food? Are you willing to eat the most calorically dense, most nutritionally dense whole foods available? Or are you just actually looking to recover on high volume veggies and leafy greens and chicken breast and shrimp and soups and stuff that's not going to get you anywhere, right? This is the tough part, is figuring out which version you are. So when I have clients like that, I get it, and I know as soon as I see their very first food log, right, that this is the journey we're on. The good news is it's actually like the easiest fix, but it is hard to be objective on your own and to see like that you're actually just choosing low calories, and somewhere in your diet journey, you just also developed a fear of ultra processed high calorie foods. I'm kind of rambling now, but you get what I'm saying. There is a difference. And now you might be like, okay, well, what are these whole foods that I could be eating? They're obvious, right? Yes, they're avocado, they're butter, they're oil, they're cheese, they're all of these things. They're rice, they're breads, they're potatoes, they're things that a lot of people with HA avoid. But then on top of that, they're also full servings. They're not a quarter of an avocado or half an avocado. They're not a little bit of cheese. They're not like, oh yeah, I eat chocolate, coated raisins. They're the real deal. That's how you determine the difference between I'm actually eating whole foods for recovery and I'm just still dieting and having a crap ton of control. If you eat a whole food diet already, and here's the kicker. If you're asking me this question, which is many of you, right? So if you ask me this question and you already eat a whole food diet and you don't have your period, then the problem is you're not eating enough whole foods and you probably have caloric restrictions around that, and that's the problem. So like, do you need to eat ultra processed foods? Potentially not, but you need to eat enough actual calories from whole food, which is probably what you're actually not doing and struggling with, and you're just completely skipping that. And then you're just like you're not giving yourself permission. You're not giving yourself permission to eat whole foods liberally, and then you're looking at the internet and you're seeing people eating all these treats, and you're just like missing the most relevant part to you. I hope this was helpful. I hope this answered the question for today. If not, do let me know.